Hey, what's going on, friends? We are live. It's been a minute, right? We haven't been done this since I think it was Monday when we did the last call. So it's good. Hope everyone had a great break. Hope everyone got to do the 4th of July thing, got to have a good time, at least got to spend some time with friends, get a little food and drink in, all that good stuff. Hopefully you got to do that. Let us know where you're chiming in the comments, guys. Let's squeeze some lemons. I like it, Corey. It's good, man. That's my plan. I'm ready to squeeze some lemons. Hey, also, while we're waiting for Jay to get on, I wanted to talk about the micro pool. Who here has been participating in the micro pools? Almost everyone I know has got some kind of micros right now. My thoughts are it is your choice, but why don't we go put them to good work? If we combine enough micros, we get to create a full NFT. We then swap that NFT into a full license, and we get to participate in the first week of Lemx mining. Who doesn't want to do that? I mean, to me, that seems like the wise move here. So, are your other micros generating you a lot right now? Would be the other question, right? So it's food for thought. Aldo is working hard and creating great service for us all. So, hope you guys all go and support that. And we got the man of the hour on with us, which is fantastic. Jason, what's up, my man? Good to see you again.
Well, it's Lemon Week. How's everybody feeling?
I'm feeling real good, man. It's nice to be bringing in some Lemx tokens. Well, soon, in a couple days, right? Very soon, very, very soon. So we're getting that going. Good to see you got the camera back on today.
I do. Changed locations. I'm actually just outside the window of the Burj Khalifa out here in Dubai, and decided to change the view out a little bit.
Not the worst view at all, then. I understand you have some company coming this weekend. We're excited for you and happy for you guys. You guys all have some a whole bunch of people coming out, right? It's great.
Yeah, I've got other business partners coming out, families coming out, so it's gonna be fun. Haven't seen them in a minute, so it'll be definitely a good time. And I'm going to take a couple days. Don't get freaked out when I don't come on a Zoom. I'm not anywhere weird. Just going to throw little things out here. I'm just going to be with my wife and family for just a brief second. But no, guys, we're working hard and good things happening. Obviously, we would have loved to start things off, but dealing with some technical glitches and that. I will tell you that Lemon is all hands on deck trying to help out the debt team right now. To get things in that situated on their side so that this is a more seamless, situation going forward. So
that's fantastic. Happy to hear the devs are focused and working on it and getting to it. So I know you guys are running 1,000 miles a minute in the background. We trust that that's happening. And we're excited for you to take a few days for your personal time, of course. But talk to us about what's kind of gone on this week. What have you guys been working on?
So obviously, some of the big things are making sure that swaps are up. We've had a little over 400, I believe, swapped over for debt NFTs. We've been very happy to be able to hand back to the debt box community. Most people don't actually understand what this is or how it works. So I'm going to go ahead and just describe it a little bit more because there's been some, let's just say, some misnomers and some conversations back and forth about stealing something from Debtbox or taking people or whatever. Guys, we're the same family. And if you go back, I was on a Zoom with Chad not too long ago, and understand we're basically two albums under the same recording record label. So no one's stealing anything from anybody. Lemon is actually giving back to the debt community in a major way when they are going through some struggles because of the speed bumps we have all been through. And how that is happening is as these licenses get burned, the actual individuals that do not decide to come over, I told you, we're not going to leave anybody behind. I didn't mean everybody's going to come to Lemon. What I said is you're going to be not left behind. So what we are doing is allowing the burns to happen, which is going to increase the distributions for everybody that is physically still staying at debt. I am encouraging people, if you believe in the projects, if you believe in the management team, to stay. To be steadfast, you're going to have some diamond hands for just a second. And I'm going to tell you, that's crypto. But we're giving back during this transition by having Lemon do the free swaps. And I think that if you are a debt token holder or an NFT holder, you're already seeing that. So I want to make sure that you need to understand we're not leaving anybody behind, whether you stay or come or split the line or, whatever your opinion is. Everybody is coming, whether you like it or not. You're going to be involved, and that was our dream and our mission, and that's really what's happening.
Well, it's a bit surprising to me that people are complaining so much. I mean, it is all optional. You got the choice. You've got more choices than you've ever had, and you get to choose what fits. So I think that works out great. So we are now transitioning over, staking and burning. When are people going to start seeing tokens kind of hitting their wallet from the new NFTs for those who have chosen to move over?
This was very hard for me, to be honest. It was a very long struggle. I had about 2 hours of sleep. And, my mission is not to hurt anybody, and more importantly, make sure that everybody is able to participate. We were ready. And some of the reports coming back is we were almost 50-50 of people being able to unstake and not unstake. That is an unacceptable level of pain, in my opinion. So as much as I would love to have our first launch head off and not have any problems, I made an executive decision to not have my own dev team work all the way through 4th of July and to help out on a holiday, obviously back in the States. So I pulled it. The swaps are done. Our distributions are done. We're ready to go. But it doesn't make much sense when we're not doing it for ourselves. We're doing it for the masses, to allow half the community to be able to participate and the other half be left behind. So I made a call about 3:30 in the morning. So if anybody's upset, it's on me. That was my decision. And I made it to postpone it until the 9th at 00:00. Most of the people in the United States, that means Monday, end of day. Everybody else, it's first thing in the morning on Tuesday morning. So 0:00 UTC time on the 9th. Everything will start to work around. It gives you plenty of time. Check out the NFTs, guys. This is something different. We decided to go a lot more bold. I think everybody is going to like some of the artwork in that popping out. There's a lot of different ones out there. There are some duplicates, but I'm already starting to see some on social media. Post them. Have fun with it. Every single one of our projects you're going to see are very unique and very different. We are doing something that I think will be very fun for the social media push we're about ready to go through. And you're going to understand why we're spending the time, effort, and energy and artwork for every one of these NFTs. And I think that'll kind of be more prevalent a little bit later on. But there's a purpose for everything.
Speaking of the artwork, we love and know that you've been trying to gamify those NFTs. A lot of people have questions. They're not sure whether they did hit a lucky lemon or not. So what are they to look for? What's that look like if and when they do?
So everything is random. That I was actually a little shocked nothing's come out yet. We are looking as well on the blockchain. We don't get to see it until after a mint happens. Here's what we're going to do, because so many people are actually just going minting and then immediately staking. We will call out your wallet. I'm not going to call out the whole thing, but I'm going to call out the last 6. And I'm going to announce on social media that if you haven't contacted the QR code that's physically on it, to go ahead and reach out. It's probably a good idea. And you don't actually need to reach out. You need to probably unstake. When I tell you your wallet, just unstake it, scan the QR code, and then you'll know exactly what to do. And so depending on what it is, whether it's 5x, 10x, or something more fun like 100x, these things will get recycled. That's the best part. So if you get 100x, don't worry about it. It's going to go back in the deck. It's going to spin back around, and it will come back out in another project. I was really hoping, quite honestly, in the first few days, someone would get one. But when you're not stacking the deck, I mean, I would have probably put it in like number 3. And when you're using a total randomizer, that doesn't quite happen that way. But I'm really hoping someone gets one soon.
Yeah, I kept sending you my address, and I kept looking for that damn QR code, but just never came.
But yeah, guys, it's fun. And if you don't decide, if you have an app like Trust right now is having a hard time with all NFTs, it's not us, guys. It's Trust Wallet. This will all be fixed with the new Lemon Tree wallet. So understand, I hope a lot of people just use the new wallet. It'll have all of your NFTs. It actually organizes it very well. It physically will immediately notify you if you do get a chosen lemon. Physically in it, there's a lot of benefits in that. The internal wallet, we're doing a couple tweaks right now to maximize some of the gamification in that of the 24 hours and some other stuff, so that it can be fun.
And what was the URL they can go and download it at right now?
Not out yet. You know.
It was close. It was close. We're excited for it. Obviously, it takes away a lot of the pain. I never heard one single person complain about the old debt app. Everybody loved it. Everyone's anxiously awaiting the return of something like it. And now it's going to be even better than before. So we're excited about it.
Terry, you've actually seen wireframes of this app that came out. It's actually something we built a little bit ago. The reason why it's delayed is we're actually getting it embedded with the migration features for the L1. And so we want to do it once, we want to get it right, and we want to make sure that we have it open so that if someone downloads the first version but doesn't update it or doesn't get security stuff, it's already there. I want migration to be as painless as possible for the L1 because we are moving at a rapid pace. I mean, most L1s for a new project launch in a year, maybe 2 or 3. Guys, this will be a launch in L1 in rapid speed.
What was that date you said?
Well, let me tell you, I'm only going to do one L2 a week for 5 weeks.
Right.
I'm not putting out any more because I'm concerned that the L1 may physically hit into it, and I'd rather migrate less projects than more. So as of right now, the schedule is lined up. We have 10 projects to migrate if the 4 OG projects, I don't want to assume anything, if the 4 OG projects decide to come along, then that gives us 6 new projects and the 4 OGs. That's 10 projects to migrate to the L1. That is enough traction, transactions, and stability with user base to, I believe, get the ball rolling with the L1, give the validators some time to get out, get stuff staked. It's going to give the community enough time to adapt it and get wallet tech for us. So it's going to be really fun. So you guys can do the math very simply of what we're trying to do. We may squeeze 1 or 2 more in there. We will commit to 1 L2 project a week until that happens. But we have a lot in the deck. And then once L1 happens, guys, it's going to be a flood. We have a lot more, but we're trying to hold them back right now because I don't want to move over 70 projects. That's a selfish thing, if I'm being honest. It is not something that's going to be pleasant with that many. And if we have any complications, I prefer it to be a smaller number.
Very cool. Friends, are you listening? That's 6-ish weeks, maybe. If everything goes according to plan, we could be there. So that's fantastic. We've all been waiting for it and very excited about it for a very long time. Speaking of light papers, when are we going to see the first one? Do we have a date for that?
Have you checked the DApp lately?
There you go, friends. You heard that? Did you hear that? Someone get down there and grab that for me. No, I have not, actually, and I'm very excited to go do exactly that as soon as this call's over, so that's exciting.
Yeah, there actually is a V2 draft physically for Lemon. It does still state draft. I'm going to actually be very clear on why it still stays draft. And then we have the draft version of the L2. Guys, we have attorneys, and attorneys do not work the same speed that we do. They have the terms and conditions policies on the bottom of them with all the disclosures, and they are already very, very robust. But understand that everyone wants to do it right and dot their I's and cross their T's from the beginning. So the absolute frame of what is going on will not be changed any functionality. I did have a request today just because of some chatter. It already states very clearly in the Lemon light paper that the Lemon token is the ecosystem token and it will stay paired. I actually have made a request back to legal. There may be an additional sentence or 2 placed into the core body of that particular one. It's not going to change anything. It's just going to firm up that Lemon token is always going to be the utility token for the ecosystem. It's not going anywhere. Again, it's something that we want to show the community that we're listening to them. But functionality, it's not changing anywhere.
But that's not an insignificant point, right? It has to always be pegged to it because we all make our plans around exactly that happening, and that changes the tokenomics wildly if it ever were to not be a utility token. So that's really great. I'm seeing a couple questions come in here that I thought were pretty good. So people were asking if the speed of the new L1 chain is going to be at least similar to what Jake had discussed once upon a time last year.
Yes, and I think the gas fees are very reasonable, and I think that'll shock everybody. And so let me just tell you, there are some components to this that are going to be slightly different, mainly because some of that tech ended up going with the Debtbox team because of how their projects work and how they functionality. They need things that are different than us. We don't need to know every, let's call it barrel of oil that's coming out every single day, track back. There's a lot of complications with some of that sideline stuff. We will have some projects that will need that We have the capability of doing it. But some of that tech did stay with Debtbox and the core team over there. But the underlying chain is basically the same thing we've been working on now for years. It's still on the EVM platform with a subgate and a subframe.
Exciting. People want to know how long will they have to swap the OG NFTs should they choose to?
So that is not actually totally up to us. I will tell you that we are going to limit it. I have people to answer for. I've got partners here in this venture. So understand that we are going to be trying to leave it. It will be open for the month of August, or sorry, for July, not August, July. As the L1 gets closer, that's going to shut off. As the Debtbox L1 gets closer, that will shut it off. And now my lights shut off. Hold on one second. See, I got motion lights in here, and if I don't do something, then
throw something at Colin. Tell him to get on it. Yeah, there we go.
Move around in the room. It just shuts them off for you. So there's that power savings. So obviously there are some certain things that will be changing around just a little bit with the time frames of that. But we're going to try to leave it open as long as possible. I will commit, if it has a July in the date, you're probably good.
Got it. Doug was asking which are the other two projects that will be included in the first 10, Lemflix, Lembank, Lempay, and are you willing to commit to the other two or not quite yet?
Yeah. Lemflix is first. Lempay is next.
Nice. Very exciting. Catfish? Catfish anyone?
Later.
Maybe.
So,
okay.
We have a V3 coming out with CatFizz. I've actually looked at the wireframes for functionality, some of the things they're putting in there. The V2 is out. They've got well over 5 million users on it right now. I'm not going to tell you why. It may have actually already split. It's actually closer to 15 million. I may have actually already stated in there. So that audience will move over. They have a large, vast marketing to it. That is going to be a later project because I'd like to launch it when the V3 is actually out and done. We have enough other projects that don't have that type of updating to do, but it's coming. And I'm going to say it'll happen probably with an August in front of it. And that will be dependent on if we're trying to do the L1 as well with it. I believe that will probably be the next one up if we don't make it to 5 weeks, if that makes sense.
Okay, very cool. Is Lotto going to be included in the early ones? I see that question popping up.
It's going to be the next one after Lempay. There you go. So and that's all you're getting out of me tonight, Terry. You keep trying to poke a little bit. So we've got Lempay next and then Lotto after that. And the guys, both these, let me kind of just walk through like some of the fun things here. I mean, you've got, Lemflix. You physically have $1 from every single subscriber that goes on to that going straight into royalties. This is going to be fun. I mean, talk to your friends, talk to your family about getting a streaming service. It's cheap, it's inexpensive. Don't talk to them about crypto. Get them involved in the product. Guys, the amount of channels and streaming services that are on here, the amount of movies, sports that's on here, it's a good product. And it's a third of the cost, if not more than Netflix that has a similar product base. So in my opinion, I think it's a great alternative. It's really designed for all parts of the world. It's got a geolocator on it. So if you're in, Latin America, you're going to get more Latin America type content. If you're in North America, you're going to get more North America content. If you're out here, you're going to get more stuff for, India and Asia. So I think this is good. I think it's something that's going to be fun, and it's very simple model because everybody uses it. I don't know who doesn't have Netflix or at least one or two. I think we have 3 streaming services already in our monthly bill with our friends and family. So, adding another one is something that as long as my kids find something on there that they want to watch, I'll probably be doing it. I'll probably do it just to support the token and go for it. But it's a very clear way to more users, more revenue, more royalties, and it's all tracked on the blockchain. So this is what the beauty of what we're building and how we're building it.
And I think we've had this conversation, but in case we haven't, is there a plan to use things like commercial breaks on Lemflix to send them ads to maybe slowly educate them about other things, Lemon and crypto and the like?
Yeah, so obviously there's all kinds of benefits with banners, for logins, for intermediate breaks, for that type of stuff, for other parts of advertising, and that's just part of capitalizing on what you have. It's the same thing that's going to happen, obviously, with LemPay. It's going to be the same thing that'll happen with Lotto. So, I think if you can understand that a lot of our partners are from the advertising and media space. So I have a feeling that you're going to see, without being annoying, you're going to see a lot of ads kind of popping up. But what better way to announce a new project that has nothing to do with Lemon, a new project that, is trying to get off the ground, that you guys, will have the first opportunity to go and support in the free model. And they can get the eyes, they can get the viewers, they can get the people looking around. If you like what they're offering, then support them and go ahead and get a free NFT. If it's not something you support, then maybe no. And since they're all free and just paying the minting fee, I mean, go ahead, go wild. I mean, it's cheap, it's inexpensive. Just go ahead and diversify out and support everything, and you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and it's important to be customers of projects that are already related to us. Like, if you have an NFT, you've got a stake in it, quite literally, of some degree. So then why not support the projects? Mr. Healy says, when swapping, staking, and minting start with the new L2s, will the tokens also hit at the exact same time?
We are going to try something, and I'm going to be honest with you, it may not ever happen again. We are going to try something with Lemflix, and that means you're going to be able to mint and stake at the same time.
Love it.
If it is a colossal mess, we will go ahead and put a 3-day waiting period from now on. I want to try to get people excited to come in and get them immediately. I want to kind of have that excitement boom. You're seeing really quick, guys. It's not the fact I want to hype. I'm so excited about the underlying projects, is what they're going to bring and what they're doing. I want people to be benefited for coming in first. I want people to actually have an excitement to say, look, do you guys ever remember, like, November is sitting here, we're having Christmas in November, and I kid you not, it was 5 o'clock every single day. You guys almost crashed my servers every single freaking day. Because you came there and you knew exactly what you wanted to do. You wanted to get in there and get the free licenses. Well, I'm hoping that this is the same type of thing, because you could go and stake them the same exact day and you're getting rewards. So we're going to try it. They are new projects. So the downside of this is the early people are going to get a bloody ton of token. And everybody asked me as well, L2 projects that have treasury and founders nodes. No treasury, no founders nodes. These are wicked fast. They do deplete very quickly, but the amount of token coming out up front is heavy. So that being said, it is literally going to be a whiplash to get yours and get in. And I'm hoping that the system is built out correctly so we can sustain it, so we don't get absolutely murdered for it. If we have a problem, we will delay this to 72 hours moving forward, but we are going to try it. So get ready and have some fun.
I do like that approach better. If we can do it, that'd be fantastic. Jason is asking, thanks for all you're doing for us. Is it safe to say that the Lemon L2s you are taking on will be more frequent royalties versus the OGs that people have come to get used to?
So not every L2 is up and live yet. Every L2 is, quote, quote, a company that is going to be very quick, or they are a subset. Meaning there's a company behind it. They're doing a white label. They're letting our user base push forward, and they're letting our marketing team push it forward. That doesn't mean there's not a company going already. Some arrangements are we get part of the current company that is there, and other arrangements are just too big, but they're giving a lot of service and value. And what that is bringing us is the benefit of basically getting our user base and our eyes moving forward on it, and to grow that over time. But here is what is different with what is currently out from any other blockchain. Every single project starts with X amount needing to come into the liquidity pool. That liquidity pool, I'm going to be very frank, it is meant to be there for 2 years, 24 months. That will be evenly divided. So every single month, you're going to get 1/24 of that put into the trust wallet, which you guys all know is the buy and burn wallet. That will deplete and trickle in. This gets the underlying tokens starting to burn and run. Every royalty then hits the liquidity pool. Guys, you can't hide it. It's coming in. There will be no other token that hits that liquidity pool. It's the first one in, and that's there. It's solid. It's then locked for 2 years. Every single royalty will be the most transparent thing in the world because it's the only token coming in to that liquidity pool. And you'll be able to make sure that enough is going to the buy and burn, and you know exactly how much is coming out on a monthly basis because I just told you the math sitting behind them. That does not mean that some days that's not going to be turned up and some days it'll be turned down. But I will tell you in that same 30-day period, it's got to be at zero. So this is where people can be very secure and safe and know you have a large liquidity pool. You know exactly how quick it's going to come in, and you know that you're going to be depleting that buy and burn trust that's smart contracted in every single month. And so I think this is just a good way to look at a fun game and look. I'm gamifying it, guys. Go look at the liquidity pools, track them, trace them. Guess what? There's probably a lot of people on here that'll track and trace them anyway. We built some dApps that give us some visuals. So I have a feeling that since it's all open code, we're gonna have a lot of fun, ingenious things being created from it, if that makes any sense.
I'm willing to bet Tim's already in the background, already trying to track and trace wallet addresses that aren't there yet.
I've been doing that all week.
Yeah, very cool. Guys, to me, it's so refreshing to hear that you are aiming always for maximum transparency. That's just super refreshing. That's going to change everything in crypto. Question for you. Is it possible, though, let's say a good ad campaign runs and Lemflix triples their user base, could those royalties also get a big bump up during that 24-month period? Is that possible as well? Or
yeah, so they will actually. If you look at it, the liquidity pools are designed for the sustainability. And I know no one wants to actually hear this, but the royalties are actually the smallest part of the tokenomics. It's actually the one everybody wants to hear about, but it's actually the smallest. What it does do, and it's very important, is that liquidity pool does two things. Number one is it absolutely gives security to the project long term. In the Lemon process, it does another thing. It's actually supplying a widening of the liquidity pools in the dexes. And I think this is what really needs to be explained, because every single time someone withdraws, so if Terry decides to go withdraw, let's say once a week, then every time he withdraws, there is a fee. It's 10% that comes out. That goes to the liquidity pool and it gets it goes to the liquidity pool of the DEX, and it gets matched with a liquidity pool of equal lemon that coming out of the liquidity pool of the project. What that means is every single time a withdrawal happens, you're widening that base. So I'm hoping in a year, we're not talking about 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 liquidity pools. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of liquidity pools. What that does is it stabilizes the project long-term for the growth. Above and beyond that, you also have the liquidity pool adding into a buy and burn trust, which then allows for the quote, unquote, volatility even in that range to slow down and to buy as much token as possible at the lowest price as possible. And when there's no token to sell, guess what? It has to go one direction. Terry, I'm going to tell you, you're a good math guy, and you're going to look at these tokenomics and you're absolutely going to scream and your hair is going to light on fire because, again, we are gamifying it. These things are free. These are not tokenomics that are going to last, and they're not going to sit here and give token out for 20 years. That is not what these tokenomics are. So when the tokens stop coming out to the NFTs, and you still have that nice savings account in the liquidity pool that's sitting there, and you physically have a very, very wide liquidity pool on the dexes, this is what's going to bring the maximum benefit to everybody. And this is one that, quite honestly, the last man standing is going to be very, very, very happy because you have burn in this. You have all kinds of halvings in it. Every single quarter it's going to have. And the liquidity pools are getting wider and larger every single withdrawal. This is going to be massive, and it's going to be very, very fun. And this is something that we've been able to put together because of the products that are actually on the other side. So we don't have to charge you guys anything for the NFTs. And so this is, everybody wants to know, they're all free. Yes, we're monetizing you guys in different ways. Don't get offended by it. We're going to get you guys, like Lemflix, guess what? We're going to get you guys to use LemPay. If you don't like LemPay, guess what? We're going to get you guys to buy something on the Lem1 store. If you don't like that, great. We're going to find another way to monetize you. And you have an addiction, you're going to buy a Lotto ticket. One way or another, we're going to find something to monetize you by being in the community, or you're going to share it. I believe that type of monetization in blockchain that has never been done is actually probably the most important things, because everybody can come to this ecosystem, be free, and they can sit back and just enjoy the ride. But if you're using the stuff and you're going to go to XYZ online store that's one of the largest in the world, and you have somebody else that physically can sit there and get you the same thing, but you're physically going to put a royalty physically in it, it's the same price. Would you do it? I would say you would. So it's altering behavior in order to benefit the masses. And that I think is going to be very fun to watch.
Well, I think it's great. I mean, we're gamifying things. We have new projects hitting all the time, tokens, royalties, transparency. I mean, all of it's just coming together so great. Another question that keeps coming up is a lot of people are saying, and there's a little bit of frustration if we're honest about it. Some people are frustrated that you're teasing them, that there are lots of big brands. So I'm just going to come out and tell them what Derek and I talked about last week. I knew I'd get you with that one. What people don't understand is that there is a big PR thing coming. And because some of those brands have their own policies, we also sometimes can't just come out and just say those kinds of things. Perhaps what might ease some people's concerns is there any time window on maybe when some of that PR might land and then they get to hear about it at that time? Do we have any kind of rough dates or estimates of when some of that stuff might come out?
It has a July in front of it.
Has a July in front of it. There you go, friends. I like that. Good. That's kind of along the lines of what I was thinking. And that's exciting because we're already July 5th today, friends. So that's good.
Look, I need to touch on it. I mean, a lot of this base is mixed. We do have some new fresh faces that come out of crypto. We've some business savvy individuals in here that are just used to standard traditional, S&P, NASDAQ type of fun with their money. This is different. And, it's not like we're asking for an investment. And, the brands underneath are doing something that is so out of the box with everything. And I do mean everything. This is not anything that has ever happened in crypto. It is tokenization of world assets in a totally different way. And so I want to kind of express that, these partners are very excited, but they're also in a point where they want to be the ones to announce it because they have shareholders. This isn't some MLM that, it's not the flavor of the week to a point, and there's nothing against MLMs. Guys, that's what helped us build to get to this point. I'm just saying in the MLM world, you always want to sit there and hype, drip this, get this out. Well, you can do that when it's your own product. You can do that when you're running stuff out that, you just put to the manufacturer and it's a different flavor of soap or it's a different flavor of soft drink or it's a different energy pill or something like that. When you're dealing with large companies, they have boards, they have shareholders, they have a lot of things that basically have to get done. It's not the fact I don't want to tell you guys. This is the hardest kept secret I think I've ever had to make and do. I would love to say every single NFT would be out of here tomorrow because of what I could basically tell everybody. But the problem with that is I won't have the person if I say it because they will understand that the trust is gone. So it is a tightrope. And I want to say that they are very excited coming forward, but they want to maximize it. And so I'm going to say that it's coming. It's in July. And it won't just be July. It'll be July. It'll be August, September. It's more than one. And I think that's what's more important is this is bigger than anything I could have imagined, and it's not going to get any smaller.
Guys, I hear that birthday month every month. You guys good with that? Starting in July? I think that's pretty exciting. Some people are still asking a lot of questions about validators, and I know that you may not want to discuss all of it, but is there anything you want to discuss at this point in terms of validators, or do we have to wait a little bit longer on that front?
No, look, I kind of went through that on the last call, and I've actually got a lot of DMs. How do I become a validator? Can I sign up? What do I have to do? The blockchain needs validators even to get going. What a validator does, it's actually confirming every single transaction. So those liquidity pools, for instance, that I was talking about that are physically going to be in every single project separated. So you can actually see every single Lotto is going to have a different one than Lemflix. Lemflix is going to have a different one than Lempay. You will be able to see every single project. But the problem with that is every single transaction that goes in and out of those liquidity pools has to be verified. Who verifies them? The validators verify them. So you have project NFTs that support the projects. You have the above the line validators and delegators that make sure that everybody's being honest and transparent. They're the ones that double check it on the blockchain. They're the ones that make sure that A went to B, B went to C, and it stays in order. And that's very important. And another question, it's a very valuable thing for a validator. NFT holders do have a say, but they don't get a say unless a validator says it's time to do a vote, because who counts the votes, who does the votes, is the validator community. And so there will be a pure cause and reaction to an NFT holder that, if they get enough NFT holders together and they want to change tokenomics, for instance. An NFT cannot do that without getting the validator community to bring the vote up so it can be checked, it can be logged, and it can be voted on. This is hard for me because normally that is me. Normally that's something, or a group of people that I can go talk to. This is something, guys, when we're setting it free, I don't have control. This is something that everybody's like, oh, well, I won't. I'm setting this free to the fact validators will have all the power in this ecosystem. But I think it's cool. I think that's what I've always dreamed. I think that's what I want. And as soon as I say it, I think we're going to get very sophisticated people in here to have the same type of things, that understand what we're trying to build and want to keep something that's free, and want to keep the ecosystem going, and want to keep something that is revolutionary to everything. I want to build the vision so that the validators understand it, so that they have the same vision. Or if they have a different vision and mine's maybe a little off, that's what a community is. And when you're a validator, you own it. So becoming a validator, there's a cost for the validator. That cost is not going to be shared tonight, but it will come out in the month of July. That validator will go up as the gas transactions do increase. I will tell you there's about 5,000 validators that will go out in the first batch, and they'll go out in the 5,000 batches and that afterwards. After that, guys, if you don't have the money for a validator, I'm not asking people to come up with large amounts of money. I believe every one of those is going to be sold by a very long, deep-rooted team of individuals that have been with us since the beginning. They've been wanting this L1 literally for 2.5 years. They're here. They're not here on Zooms. They are not here in the Telegram chats. They don't want to hear any of it. But they are here, and I have a phone, and they have my number. And so I'm talking to them as well every day, kind of going through that. And they are very excited. Guys, this is not something that is new and a change from the core. This is something that I've been building for years. Yes, a different brand. And that's not something that I'm going to get into tonight. But I want to make sure that we understand this is something that, if you had the vision from the beginning, this is the vision, and we're just putting it together very quickly. This is the path, and I want to make sure that everybody understands that. And there's another path with Roy and Chad, and they have their own L1, and they have their own validators. I believe they're doing validators on that setup, so you can go and support 2 blockchains. How cool is that? With one family, you can go basically own 2 parts of 2 totally different chains. Another benefit about owning the chain, guys, gas fees are absolutely ridiculous. We can share little numbers right now. I believe Binance did 4.4 billion last year for the home team, and they paid 4.4 billion out to validator nodes. It is not a small number, and it is fun. And now, how that happens is they're not actually giving you ROI. What they're doing is they're giving you parts of every single little transaction that happens. Those little tiny 5 cents, 18 cents, 20 cents that you guys are paying on every NFT, on every transactional move, every single thing that goes over the DEX, it has to go from one wallet to another. Guys, these are fees. Most people don't think about them. Everybody kind of tells you, put $5 in BNB in your wallet, you're just going to need it at all times. Well, now it's going to be put $5 in Lem in your wallet, you're going to need it at all times. And so, that is going to be shared by every single person that's in a validator. If you don't have money for a validator, but you have LemX token, you can go ahead and place it. At that point, it'll be LemX coin, but you can place it visibly in the validator at no cost to you. You just have to pledge it for a period of time, or you can keep it unstaked. And this actually will earn you some more value. You won't own the chain, but you'll be able to call it rent the chain, and you're getting little fees for it. And I think that's cool. You don't get voting rights as a delegator, but you do get the benefit of earning some gas fees.
Yeah, which is pretty amazing. Do you know what the fixed gas fees will be? Will they be fixed? Will they be variable based on like a lot of other chains are? Have you thought through those details?
Yeah, so it is not going to be fixed. NFTs are going to be pretty set. They're going to be somewhere between 23 and 27 bucks. Guys, this is purely based off of the traffic and that on the chain. Average transactions, guys, we are trying to break under 5 cents for almost everything else. And so we're going to be very competitive with BNB right now. It's probably the most competitive. I'm hoping to beat them by at least a penny or 2 for most transactions. Staking and unstaking NFTs right now are about 18 cents average on BNB. we're hoping to be about 5 cents. So that's about 75% cheaper. The standard transaction is just one wallet to another. It could be 2 to 3 cents. Guys, this is where if it's a maxed out network, you could get a penny or two higher. We're still going to be better than anything else out that I've seen currently right now in the market for mass adoption chains with this type of volume going on them with all of the LT projects heading in. So you can't compete with like a chain that has, let's call it 1 million transactions a day. That's not anywhere you can basically compare apples and oranges because they're just different. We're talking about tens of millions of transactions every single day, and it's got to be able to process them, and that's what we've built out. We're over 3,000 transactions a second loaded. So we're trying to break it, and it's holding up, and I think that's great.
Fantastic. Well, friends, I don't know about you guys, but this is all just incredible. We're seeing light papers come out. We've got an L1 coming in the near future. We've got a whole bunch of new apps and tech. We've got LemPay, Lemon Tree. We've got all this stuff that's all very close to being ready and being validators and new projects. I'm excited about all of it. I think it's just fantastic. We're coming up on the 40-minute mark, so we'll kind of tailor off here because I know you have a late night. Do you have any closing thoughts or remarks you want to leave people with? And when can we expect to see you back?
So I'm going to come back on, obviously, on Monday because Monday's a big day. Even if my family's in town, I'm going to take a little bit of time away to see my other family. It's a big moment for us to start distributions, and I want to make sure we all celebrate together for that. If I get off the call really quick, we got problems. But no, I'm feeling very comfortable. We spent a lot of time in testing. This is pure code we've been working on for a very long time. If you like the past, guys, it's here. And so, the good news is the dev team in that is solid. The core team is there, and they know the system very well. So I think that's probably the best part of it. I'm very excited for Monday. Well, Monday for most of you. For me, it'll be closer to Thursday morning, bright and early, or very, very, very late. But having said that, it's Thursday 00:00 UTC Mountain Standard Time. I think it's about 5 o'clock. Terry, I think that's about 7 o'clock for you. So, but Monday will be a good one. Let's go ahead and pick off another. Let's try to actually do it as close to 00:00 as we can, and I guess I'll be live when we actually do it to kind of see if I'm going to get yelled at or not. But let's try to go. I'm ballsy enough to say I believe my dev team enough. Let's do 00:00.
I like it. What's good. I think you're going to see a lot of people just cheering you on, and a lot of people who are grateful for what you're building out here. It's a chance for everyone to hopefully, we believe, will be life altering, and we're really grateful for it. So thank you so much again for taking the time to jump on and educate us. We appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you on Monday, and we do genuinely, sincerely hope you really enjoy your family time. Excited for you that they're coming to visit this weekend.
Will do. Appreciate you all, and glad to see the family again, and we'll see you guys on Monday. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.